Welcome back to the garage. A few days back, I found out that I just can't move much further on some of these tool restoration projects I've got until I kind of level up my abilities here in the garage. To that end, I went to everyone's favorite cheap tool store. I bought that. That is the 40-pound Harbor Freight abrasive blasting cabinet. Now there's probably 10,000 videos out there on YouTube right now explaining all of the shortcomings of that blasting cabinet and all sorts of different ways of fixing them. I'll get to those hopefully soon. But as you may have noticed, it's kind of a small garage. I don't really have a lot of room, so I have to find a place for it. Now I do actually kind of hate to lose this guy for a number of reasons. One, because horizontal space in the garage is kind of at a premium. It's not that big of a garage, especially when you've got a Jeep and a Bantam trailer in here along with everything else. But this was actually my first server rack for the house. I do IT for a living, so I needed a rack to kind of hold everything. This I threw together in one day years ago. I think I'm at peace with taking it apart, letting it go, and salvaging some of the 2x4s to make a rolling base for that cabinet, which is one of the recommended upgrades. Probably should have measured to figure out what I was working with first. It's almost like I looked up the specs before I bought it.
Yeah, right.
Well, I haven't charged this in a month, so I figured that was going to happen. A few months ago, that was probably about 200 bucks worth of 2x4s. Just barely cracked open the package, and I wasn't expecting this gasket here, but that's already going to be a problem. It does not, it doesn't fully seal anything. So it looks like we're going to be caulking this thing no matter what. Quality control? What's that? So it's another case of good intentions but poor execution. You can see where they're listening to people and they're trying to make changes, but that ain't gonna cut it. And they doubled up the seal here, creating an extra gap. So yeah, this is you get what you pay for. I won't seal anything. Heck, that's bent. This is not going to become one of those review videos, but I gotta let you guys know that is no. So based on everything else I've watched on YouTube about these cabinets, this will probably take about 4 hours to put together, going solo. I am really psyched about having a blasting cabinet in the garage now. It's going to change a lot of things as far as what I can do. The instruction manual for this thing, however, is junk. Though some of it is operator error. I blame the frosty beverages. Having one of these in my arsenal starts opening doors to things like etching glass or powder coating. It's that last one that really gets my attention, because I've wanted to do my own powder coating for years now. If you've already assembled one of these before, you probably realize that I've already made a few mistakes and I'm about to figure that out on my own. So there's no possible way that I might have accidentally had a couple of cold beverages and been a little bit advertiser friendly, dreadfully tired, and not have read those instructions for comprehension. And maybe I put this thing together mostly wrong. Had to disassemble it and then completely reassemble it correctly. Nah, there's no way that happened. Couldn't possibly. It is pretty much a requirement that you go through and you caulk every single seam. Otherwise, there will be leakage, and your lungs will hate you for it. This is definitely a two-person job. I thought I could just soldier through and get it done. But when there's this many alignment issues, nah, you need a second person. And now with an admittedly overzealous amount of silicone caulk around every edge, I think assembly's just about done. Before I put the glass top on, I figure I might as well sticker bomb the thing because I have a bunch of stickers sitting around, and why the heck not? Eric does have one of the greatest intros on all of YouTube. And some of the tech stuff, why not? That makes sure I can hear what I'm trying to upload. For my inner child, he's still there somewhere. Still plenty more real estate for sticker bombing and maybe my own personal branding someday. Relocated. So I was gonna try to use this stock light that comes with it, even though everyone says it is woefully inadequate. This is woefully inadequate. I mean, that thing is... I'm getting more light from that overhead than from this. Obviously that's like 4 times the light bulb, but yeah, even after this thing heats up, that's useless. LED it is. Just one more look at this stock light with the overheads off. You can see that it does something, and on the camera it actually looks like there's some level of brightness in there, but no. It's gonna require LED of some kind. Next up, off camera while I record, did that tape mod. There's no reason for all these holes to be here. They're only gonna get media stuck in them, and when you open the door, it's gonna get media everywhere, so that should be a flat panel. Given that the stock light in there is just unacceptably dim, I went out on the internet and I got this. This is one of those kind of generic LED retrofit kits for like a linear or high bay type of light, kind of like the ones I've got up there. except these are the short versions. These are nifty because they're magnetic, so basically installed. Do some cable management. Put the little transformer on here, get that wired in. I'm gonna go a little bit janky and just make it work. And that should give me a much better light output in there. With the overhead lights off, we get a good example of how this looks. There's your kind of stock light. It barely lights the thing up. You can tell it's on, but there's not much to it. I've got a temporary install out the vacuum port. We plug these in. Boom. Yes, this is the way. And I guess the good thing about this is that all that brightness, and these are already frosted, so if they get scratched the heck up from months of blasting, it's probably not really going to affect their light output. And if it does, they weren't that expensive. Puppy thinks it's cool, right? Long story short, the intention was to do the mod with the thumb screws instead of using these. But some guy on the internet led me astray just slightly on what the thread pitch was. So I got the wrong ones. That just means I'll have to come back later and do these again. It's not the worst, I guess. And this right here is precisely why I left the gloves for last. I'm beginning to understand why they said put the gloves on, like, first. I thought it would be easier than this. Of course, I didn't even try. This is the pain. Well, guys, that took a heck of a lot longer than I had expected, but gloves are in. They're even kind of turned halfway correctly so I can use it. And with that, that just about wraps up part one. Gloves are in, cabinets together, glass is in, case is sealed, a couple of mods done, the lights work great now. All I lack is an air compressor, but it is the holiday season of 2021, so I get the feeling there might be a sale coming up pretty soon. I can snag an air compressor and finish the rest of it. And then we'll have a fully armed and operational blasting setup. And on that note, since this video should be coming out right before Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Festivus, whatever you celebrate. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thanks for helping me grow this channel. I'll see you all in 2022 and in part 2 of this. Bye for now.